In today's video, we're going to talk about how to preserve watermelon, also how to make some amazing recipes using watermelon. I know watermelon is almost out of season, and it is out of season for some depending on where you live, so go grab yours while you can. Welcome to Nature to Tea, or welcome back. So if you like watermelon like me, you're gonna enjoy this video, and also save it, share it for next season of watermelon. But while you can still get watermelon depending on where you live, you can grab as many as you have space for if you love watermelon so much and want to preserve them. And also I'm going to show you 5 different recipes you can make with watermelon. So I went to 3 different stores and grabbed 5 watermelons, and only 3 of them were the right texture and taste. Thankfully, I didn't buy all my watermelon from the store that I bought the other not so good ones. When you do buy your watermelon, make sure you do wash them thoroughly. I usually use hot water with soap and just rinse it out really well. There are different methods of cutting watermelon. Let me just confess, I am not good at cutting, especially when it comes to big fruits like this. So watch me struggle. Add to that, I'm trying to keep myself in frame because I am pretty tall and it's hard for me to cut things and trying to show what I'm doing at the same time. By the way, this is the biggest watermelon and it's the only seeded watermelon. They say the seeded ones are better and more natural. However, this one is the mushiest watermelon out of the bunch. It was very soft. It was very mushy. And I just recently found out that it was too ripe. So I'm still learning about watermelon. I have gone most of my life not liking watermelon until about 5 years ago is when I started giving watermelon a chance again, and I since fell in love with it. I'm not even sure why I used to not like watermelon. I don't know, I kind of felt like the taste was bland and it was missing some salt or something. But anyway, as I learned to like watermelon, I also did a lot of experimenting with it and discovered so many amazing recipes. And now I am in love with watermelon. That's why I went out and bought 5 whole watermelon to preserve. And the reason being is that you can preserve watermelon and have it months after it goes out of season. Secondly, it is high in antioxidants, vitamin C, which is great, especially coming into this winter. Well, I live in Arizona, but you know what I mean. The season of the flus and colds and all that. So why not, and it's a reasonable fruit as well. I'm not sure how to pick a good watermelon or how to determine whether it's the right kind. I do like my watermelon crispy, so I'm going to use the mushy one strictly for smoothies, and I'm going to be freezing most of it, so I'm going to be using it for smoothies and also juices. So let's get started. So cut the watermelon however you want. As you saw, I was struggling with cutting my watermelon. I am not good at cutting anything. So cut the watermelon however you desire to do so. I decided to cut them in these wheel-like shapes at first. By the way, for the most part, most of the watermelon I bought were pretty decent. Some of them were not as sweet, but either way, I picked the right recipes for each kind of watermelon, depending on the texture as well as the sweetness. So the mushy ones was basically preserved for smoothies, and also I made juice out of it. And the crispy ones, I ate some, and I also preserved some by freezing them, and I did cut those into triangular shapes, which I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them later. And in case you don't have the time, or even if you do have the time, this does require quite a bit of energy to cut all 5 watermelon in one day. You can spread them out by cutting maybe 2 per day, 2 to 3 per day. Another thing that I must mention is that you can use the watermelon rind for many, many things. You can use it for beauty uses. For your hair, it is an amazing moisturizer. It's also a good way to hydrate your skin as well as your hair. Sometimes I mix it with my bentonite clay to make a moisturizing mask for my hair as well as my face. But another thing I like to do with the rind is making pickled watermelon rind. And I did make a separate video on how to make pickled watermelon rind. But anyway, try not to throw away all your watermelon rind and skin. You can also make watermelon candy with the rind and so many other recipes. I'm probably going to make more recipes on using the rind next summer. So you want to get your plastic bags, and I did use different sizes of plastic bag. Just make sure that it is BPA free. So you want to go ahead and section them off based on what you're going to need it for. The crispier regular texture kind, I don't mind putting it in big Ziploc bags like this one, because you can separate them by banging the bag on a counter. However, if it's the mushy ones, they tend to clump together and it's harder to separate, so that's why I put them in smaller bags so that I can just use it all at once. So I use the smaller sandwich bags for those. Mainly I use those for my smoothies. These are my bagged watermelon that are going in the freezer, and I'm going to use them for smoothies as well as other recipes. The first recipe that I'm going to show you is making watermelon juice. By the way, you can make as much watermelon juice as you have space for, and you can just put them in BPA-free bottles, even mason jars, and freeze them. Once you chop up your watermelon into smaller pieces, you're going to go ahead and add the watermelon into a blender. Then you're going to juice 1.5 to 2 limes, and you're going to go ahead and blend this. And this is what I'm going to use for my juices. I'm also going to use this to make my watermelon ice balls. So when I blend this, sometimes depending on what I want to use it for, sometimes I may just use the juice as is to make whatever recipes I want. But if you want a smoother recipe, or if you're going to drink it and you don't like the pulpy texture, you can go ahead and strain it, as I'm doing right now. Also, if you have a juicer, you can juice your watermelon. I haven't invested in a juicer because I do need more fiber, and I believe most Americans do need more fiber. That's why I prefer just blending my fruits, and if I need juice, I just blend my fruits and use this method. This is the juice of the watermelon, and one of the ways that I like to use it is by pouring it in my teas sometimes. A more natural way of sweetening your food or drinks. This is a great juice for that. And this is ginger tea, which I make quite often. You can use the pulp to either make like watermelon sauce, kind of like applesauce, but watermelon, except for you're gonna need to add some things to it. And one of my favorite things to add to it is tahini, or just lime or lemon with a little bit of salt. My next recipe is making shaved ice, watermelon shaved ice. You can also use the same technique to make sorbet. So this is the reason why I cut some in triangular shapes and froze them, because I do like to use it in this way. And for this recipe, you can grab as many watermelon pieces as you want, depending on how much you want to make. But I'm just making 1 slice of watermelon for this recipe. So you want to use a grater and shave the watermelon to turn it into shaved ice. And this is the end result, so nice and fluffy. The next part is making this delicious sauce that goes with this ice. And you can use lime or lemon, but squeeze half a lime or half a lemon in a container. And you're going to add some honey to it to taste. This also depends on how sweet the watermelon is. You're also going to add some tahini and a little bit of sea salt. And I like to use pink Himalayan salt. And you're going to mix this up really well, and then drizzle this sauce on this ice. You can either put it in the middle, or you can just drizzle it over the ice. But this sauce with this watermelon tastes so amazing. It has most flavors that people desire. It got the tanginess, the spicy, the sweet, sour, everything. It is so delicious. The next recipe is making watermelon ice balls. So I'm using the same blended watermelon. This is just the blended one. I did not strain this one. So I'm adding this to this ice tray, and I'm gonna freeze it. I also made a separate one using the strained watermelon juice to make a separate ice, because sometimes I do want my drinks smooth, so I'll use the strained one for that. And this is what the ice looked like after they got frozen and taken out of the ice tray. And by the way, the other darker ice is blueberry ice. So I do like flavored ice, and I make plenty of them. So I added this to my ginger juice. And by the way, this is ginger cucumber juice, which I am doing a recipe on. So watch out for that. But watermelon and ginger together taste so amazing. This drink is to die for. And girl, I don't know where you live, but I live in Arizona, and it is still in the triple digits. And sometimes I'll just pop one of these ice in my mouth and just eat it like that. And if you like to eat ice, this is one of the best ways, I think, to eat ice, just because you get your vitamins, your antioxidants, electrolytes, and all that good stuff. So flavored ice is really amazing, and I have a lot of videos on making flavored ice using different fruits. And this is ideal for those who don't like to drink plain water, or folks that just don't like water. For my next recipe is for those who like creamy things. So people who like ice cream, this is a way better version of ice cream, a healthier version of ice cream. So you're gonna need about a cup to a cup and a half of watermelon, and you're gonna need about a quarter cup of coconut milk. You're gonna add a little bit of honey to taste and a little bit of vanilla extract. So you're gonna blend this all together until it's smooth, and then you're gonna pour it out into a popsicle mold and freeze it. Now, if you have an ice cream maker, you can also use this blend to make ice cream, watermelon cream ice cream. Another thing that I like to do with this recipe is that I use it as a smoothie bowl. And by the way, most of my popsicle molds are being used in my freezer. I'm preserving some aloe vera, and this is one of the ways that I preserve my aloe vera as well. Make sure you do check that video out. Sorry, I'm going out of topic. But this ice cream is so creamy and so, so delicious. Coconut milk goes really well with watermelon, by the way. And for those who like spicier things, you're gonna love this tahini watermelon popsicle. Blend some watermelon, put it in a container, and add some tahini to it. And go ahead and pour it into a popsicle mold just like before. And you're gonna freeze this, and this is so, so delicious. If you like spicy things, you're gonna love this. So good. Honestly, I don't know why I was hating on watermelon for the longest, but I'm so thankful that I refound watermelon, and I'm in love. There's so many recipes that I have I can't fit into this one video. However, if you like this video and enjoy it, please do give it a like. Also save it for next watermelon season in case you can't have access to watermelon. If you still have time, you can go grab some watermelon, as many as you have space for, and freeze them. Use these methods to preserve them, and use this recipe. Most of these recipes are recipes that you can use for months to come. This wraps it up for this video. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're leveling up in becoming a healthier version of yourself, make sure you do subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that post notification button so you'll be notified every time I post a video. I hope you have a blessed day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I hope to catch you on my next video.